Hello, and welcome along to the very first episode of Chronicles. We won't be doing player introductions every episode, but I suppose we should do them to start with, as we've got some new members on the Sunday team. We finally got to kick Jamal out, thank God. Jamal is moved into a creation part of the campaign. He's done far more prep for this session than I have as a co-DM. Bruno, unfortunately, was not able to commit to another long-term campaign, so we've replaced them with two wonderful human beings, and we've increased our J ratio by 1. So with no further ado, let's meet the old guard and then meet the new. Please tell me what the race and class of your character is, as well as their name. We will start with Joe.
Yes, in fact, I am Joe, and I will be playing this time around a squirrel and a monk, and his name is Munch.
Squirrel Monk Munch.
Yep.
Love it. I have Josh.
I'm Josh, and I will be playing Koopa, the Duckfolk Rogue.
I have Rico.
I am Rico, who will go by Jico, so that we will raise the J coefficient.
Yes.
And I will be playing Diego, who is a Vulpin Wizard.
Making up for the loss of Bruno's femininity, I have Jay.
I will be playing Jean-Luc Laurent Beaumont, who's going to be a Mousefolk bard.
And I have Jack.
I'm going to be playing a Badgerfolk Fighter by the name of Boulderbrest.
Badgerfolk Fighter by the name of Boulderbrest. Well, and so you are. Okay. There's our team. And currently they live on the beautiful island Chimvaya. Chimvaya is an island in the middle of the ocean that is dominated by one single feature, the World Tree. Worshipped as both home and god in the land of Chimvaya. The World Tree stands a couple of miles high. Nobody has reached the top. Its branches reach out as far as the eye can see in both directions. Riddled throughout its lower branches and its sort of medium height branches, and all around its trunk are various homes of the animal folk. From those bird folk that live in the upper branches, to the Squirrelfolk and Mousefolk who climb along their middling levels, to those lower level folk that better be closer to the ground, such as the Duckfolk and perhaps the Vulpin, to those that perhaps even burrow near its very base, badgers. Chimvaya is a land of peace, of unity, of happiness. It is a perfect paradise for tiny little critters to live their wildest dreams. Or, in fact, live their fairly boring dreams, if we're being super honest, because there is absolutely no conflict on this island. Not much changes. Everybody is always happy. Everybody is always enjoying themselves. Everybody's always going around smiling, but nobody really knows why. It is a place of no small level of magic, and for as many generations as anyone on the island can remember, been the entire world. Today, that is going to change. Jay, please describe your character.
Am I the J you're referring to out of the J's?
Yes, they're J with other bits on the end. You're just J.
Okay. Okay. Am I? Oh God, I have no idea.
If it helps, you are
No
currently
pressure at all.
out on the beach, wandering along the beachhead on the east side of the island. The ocean is lapping gently at the shores. It is yet another beautiful sunny day.
Okay. Say he's probably staring out, enjoying the ocean air, because it's the start of another, beautiful, conflict-free morning with no troubles at all. He's going to be stretching his little limbs.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a little mouse. He's one of the meadow guard mice, so, he's used to being around a bunch of other mice doing things outside, and he's going to be looking across the horizon and just take a deep breath and go, well, very fragrance of the morning. And
What is he wearing?
oh, I thought we didn't have clothes.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
You have little bits of clothes. So you might have like a little knitted piece. You might have a little cotton piece. You might have a little jaunty hat, a scarf, a little waistcoat, a tiny little pair of shorts. Josh nearly had an otter and denim shorts. So you guys, I have revealed your previous character. So yeah, if you want to be wearing a little bit of clothing, you can be wearing a little bit of clothing. You don't have to be. Certainly, there is no need to cover up on the island, but they do like their fashion. These animals.
I'd say he'd have a little hat with the brim just to keep the sun out of his eyes.
Like a sort of sports cap, or like a jaunty beret, or like a what sort of hat is this?
Let's go with jaunty beret. I like that one.
Well, it seems to be in your artwork, so.
Yeah, that fits perfectly. And I'll say he's gonna be wearing just a little tiny scarf for fashion purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it, hat and scarf.
Yep, love that. Hat, scarf, that's all he needs. As you are wandering on the east beachhead, you see something coming towards you on the horizon.
Oh, no.
At first, this strange trick of the wind, maybe something floating, and then a little closer it comes, and you can see what appears to be a large sheet of canvas on top of some sort of idling tree being. As you look a little more closely, give me a perception check, please.
Oh, no. Okay. That perception. That would be an 8.
Okay. Yeah, you look out, you can't make out much more than that. You'd normally be one of the first people to report any sort of strange happenings or sign of anything unusual. And as you are sort of peering out on the beachhead, Joe, please describe your character.
Yes. So Munch is, as I said, a squirrel, a gray squirrel, not the flying sort, big, absurd, fluffy gray tail. Very, very important to have that, of course. But he's otherwise fairly squirrel-like. He's got a slightly larger nose than maybe a real squirrel would have, but he's not super anthropomorphic. He does, however, continuously chomp on whatever, despite the lack of conflict on the island. He has managed to find conflict within himself and is always a bit irritable and insecure and sort of, I get little pieces of celery here, so I'm munching. Constantly, sort of chomping on everything all the time. And so that's what he would be doing. He would be sort of got his walking stick, and despite his obviously ability to climb, and he does go in the trees sometimes, he spends most of his time wandering around on the land because you can't bury tree nuts inside the branches. So he's got to go down to the ground where he can be continuously burying nuts and not ever eating them.
As you're wandering the beach towards a place where you had previously buried a nut, you see three white
Just to check on it.
You see three white tail feathers poking up out the ground. Josh, please describe your character.
So he's a duck. He kind of looks like, I don't know what Disney would describe as a duck. He's pretty simple. He's very small and very cute. He's got big, adorable eyes. And he's got like a very plain and simply made like satchel over his shoulder. And he's got like a little tuft of hair on his head that sticks up.
And right now, Munch, you come upon the sight of Cooper sort of nose deep in a place where you're sure you buried him. Cooper, you're having a little explore, and you found a small gap between a log and the ground that is sort of dark and inviting and mysterious, and there's a little something glinting near the back.
Yeah, I will immediately just start like digging away under the sand, going straight for it.
Yeah. Munch, as you approach Cooper's back, you see sand flying out to the side, and in that sand, a nut just sort of pings off past you. Cooper, you find a small mother-of-pearl shell at the very back of this little hole.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, I forgot to. I neglected to mention my minor bit of clothing. He's got his sort of green kind of scarf, kind of Sorry. And yeah, sort of very, very diaphanous, kind of almost more like it's not. Don't think of like a warm, Christmassy, keep you warm wintry scarf. It's more, like an elderly professor lady wearing a pointless accessory scarf. Like that sort of
Mhm.
flowing silk.
A little
kind of-
shawly in its
Yes,
its
yes.
scarfiness. Yes, I like that.
Yes, and so that sort of flaps behind him as he begins to hurry, sort of running up behind and seeing all this sand flying around and your ducktail sticking out of the hole, and it's just like, it's you again! It's you! You're not even after the nuts! I mean, all these times digging these things up, and you haven't even, it's over there, you're not even paying attention to it!
What nut? What?
What? You're the nut! What are you all over the island for years, you've been digging up everything I've hidden, and you're not even after them! What is the problem here?
There's no problem here. I was after this, and I will hold up the pearl.
I suppose that's interesting, but what? Do you have any idea what you've caused me?
I caused you what?
I've got nuts hidden all over this island. I need to know where they are.
Really?
And every
You
time
say,
you
like,
disturb one.
You got nuts hidden in the island, and as he says this, you see like a glint of his eye, like he's gonna start looking for them.
Just to cut you there, Jean-Luc, as you are looking out, not quite sure what you can make out on the horizon, you hear the sounds of a discussion, a heated discussion, if you will, between one Squirrelfolk and one Duckfolk. Being a bard, you of course have, you know their names. You've probably recorded their details at some point. And you note that they are just over a little way on the shore. Obviously seeing this strange approaching flapping piece of wood, flapping piece of canvas on a tree-like being floating towards you. I'm sure you're desperate to tell somebody. And there they are, just there.
He's gonna start eagerly skittering towards them, not having any idea what the commotion is, thinking it's about the same thing that he's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Go, Oop, Munch, do you see that? Over there.
Let's see what.
The thing. I think it's how do you call it? A big bed.
Where? I will look to.
As soon as you look out, you see this strange tree being. It's sort of it's like a wide log that's strangely pointy, that is slowly drifting towards you. It seems to have a big white tail feather.
That's a bed?
Bed?
A wooden bed. No, bed,
Bird.
Oh. Bed.
You're just not too bright, are you?
What do you think it is? A big nut?
Joe, it has taken you 12 minutes to savage Josh's character. Excellent work.
I sort of asked permission. I don't know, but maybe it can take you away from here. I could find a way to get rid of you.
Huh. Where will I go?
I'm sure there's secrets other places.
I will begin flying up in the air 10 feet and begin flying towards it.
Okay. You're going to fly out over the water.
Yes.
As you begin your ascent, you see a Corvin. A Corvus? Corvin, I think. Crowfolk. Flying down sort of a little way above you, and it sort of notes the strange floating tree. And, this must be reported immediately. What on earth is this strange floating log? And he flies off, wings off, towards the edge of the nearest part of the village. And Boulderbrest. Jack, please describe your character for me.
Boulderbrest, or Boldo, as he tries to get people or others to call him, but fails in that endeavor. Is a quite large, almost honey badger-like badger, with a big round sort of barrel chest and gut, and has a thick neck, and then sort of short stubby arms and short stubby legs and a pointed little head and snout.
Does he wear any clothing?
He wears a tunic. It's a rough tunic. It's not really to cover up. It's more to signify that he sort of is, and more like sort of is a folk of stature in his sort of Badgerfolk people.
And indeed, that is why the Corvus is coming towards you. He stops and, Mr. Boulderbrest. There is a strange log floating in on the sea. It has a very, very big feather. I think we should check it out. You should check it out. You should. On the beach.
Okay.
East Beach head, that way.
Yes.
Points a wing.
It's not just driftwood.
No, it's got a huge tail feather. Never seen the like of it. Never at all.
A tail feather.
Something like that, yes. I don't really understand it. You should look. And then
I
maybe
start-
perhaps if
yeah.
it's important, you can tell your brother.
Yeah. I will if need be. I start approaching the beach.
As you head down to the beach, Rico, please describe your character.
Diego is a Vulpin. He looks very much like a fox, slightly anthropomorphic fox. He's probably a little more slender, on the larger side for the critter folk of Chimvaya. Maybe not as tall as Boulderbrest, but definitely taller than Cooper. He's got the typical red fur of a red fox, and he wears sort of like a waistcoat, kind of like a yellowish green chartreuse, we'll say, is the color. Yeah.
As you are you've just got up, you're probably going about your daily ablutions, when you see Boulderbrest sort of marching down the beach looking a little officious, and you can't help but wonder, what on earth has piqued his interest? Is there anything in this for you? You could get ahead of your brothers if you can find out what this strange happenstance is. You barely ever do you see anyone on Chimvaya walk with such urgency and such importance unless they're about to make a speech. If he's not going to make a speech, there's no one to make a speech to. So you can get in line and follow to find out what is going on.
Yeah, I don't know that I would say anything to Boulderbrest yet. I feel like Diego would likely sort of just be like spying out and keeping to himself. And as soon as he sees Boulderbrest moving with urgency, he'd, where is he going? I wonder. And he'll sort of follow closely behind, but far enough away that hopefully he doesn't notice.
Yep. As you follow Boulderbrest, you come in sight of Munch and Jean-Luc standing on the beach, looking out at the tail feathers of this duck who has just started very slowly flying out with his 10-foot movement speed over the edge of the ocean. Coming towards you with a fairly large pointed log. Can't possibly be a tail feather. It looks like a bedsheet. What is that? And I will take at this point a perception check from everyone.
May I re-roll?
Reroll.
Did you say
Yes.
perception?
Yeah. Perception from you again now. It moves closer.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't roll my D100. If you guys are going to die. Unlucky. What have we got for perceptions? Anyone above a 14?
Yeah, dirty 20 for me.
17 for me.
Okay, Cooper, as you approach a little closer, you also note that despite flapping like a wing, it is not a wing. There's only one of them, and it's on its side. And there's a painting on it. Of what looks to be a bird. Perhaps a red bird on the side of this white. Again, you're beginning to think bedsheet. But Munch, you're far more worried about something else. That log has manifested a face. It's got hair and it's got a sort of large face, but it's lost all its fur. It's like a baby that's just been born. This skin-like face creature thing sort of is moving about on the log. And it seems to be wearing clothing, and it's giant. It's humongous. And it looks a little like... if you search anything to do with sailors, they all look beautifully, ruggedly handsome and like Johnny Depp. So this guy is the most handsome
all sailors do,
castaway
right?
ever.
I think he's got more fur than the squirrels.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yes, but he does definitely. He's lost the fur on his face. Most unfortunate.
Hideous.
And you can all talk amongst yourselves. Cooper is only now 40 feet over the water. Really no closer than any of you. And you will all note that the boat is moving very quickly towards you, although you know not what a boat is.
Cooper, what do you see?
I see a bird, a red bird.
Cooper, give me a dexterity save, please.
Oh, no. Not the winds.
No, not the winds.
Okay, that's a 13.
Yeah, suddenly you realise this thing is moving quite fast. And sort of diagonally towards the beach. And you have to duck to the side to avoid being caught up in its whipping bedsheet. As you hear the skin-like monster that is so large and tall let out a strange, urgent cry. Sort of... that he's shouting at you. And as you see him go past, he's sort of... and you're going to have to turn around and flap back towards the beach.
I turn around to panically fly back towards the beach. I'm just like, it's crazy! Run! It's a monster!
And as you do that, he reaches up an arm and, as if trying to catch you in the air, starts swinging it towards you.
Careful! He's got mange! He's trying to give it to you!
No!
He's missing all his fur!
You're flapping back towards...
That's all we bloody need, another mange outbreak. Get behind me.
As you flap back towards the beach, this wood monster comes to a stop and sort of keels over, the bedsheet flattening that red bird to the sand. And emerging from it is this ginormous creature, 2.5 times your size. He sort of looks about, and you can tell that it is a specimen. It is a creature. It is no strange, abstract, oddity. It is definitely living and breathing. And it sort of spies you all. And sort of waves at you, and you're not sure if he's telling you to shoo or trying to get something in the air. And then he begins to approach you quite rapidly.
I think it's trying to communicate.
Diego, you're a smart guy.
I thank you.
So are you, Munch. What
An astute observation, Boulderbrest.
Well, what do we do? I don't know what to do. What do we do?
I think we should dance.
I think we should
There's no
hide.
time for that.
And
That's
Jean-Luc is
probably
going
a
to
good
start doing the arm wavy things that he had saw him doing in mimicry to communicate with the...
He sort of jumps back a little bit, looks a bit worried, and then reaches over to the wood monster. And after a little while, he pulls out something a little odd. It looks baked. And he sort of tosses it at your feet, Jean-Luc.
Wait, what did he throw?
Some sort of baked good at you.
Ooh, does it smell good?
It smells a little seaweedy.
Can we just...
Been in the boat a long time.
Can we attempt a nibble?
Yeah, it is a flat bread of sorts. It is definitely a little hard, but it's quite tasty.
It's crunchy. It's just a little... You want to try? He's gonna...
And bear in mind that it is sort of, to you guys, it's a dinner plate size.
Oh.
And you can sort of hand it over a little bit. He goes down to one knee, and starts to move his finger in the sand. You can all read him right. But you note that he is not writing, he is drawing a picture.
This has piqued Diego's interest, I think.
He draws a small circle, and then he points to himself, and points to the circle. And then he draws another small circle, and he points to all of you, a little threateningly. points to that circle, and then he goes,
This man seems to have nuts. One is his, and one he's trying to present to us.
I don't know about that. And I've just downed 3 whole daisies in the last 12 seconds. Just those aren't any nuts I've ever seen.
They're missing the stem.
I will draw another circle
okay.
and see what he does, and I'll wait him sort of.
He looks a little quizzically, and he points out to the ocean, and then points back to the circle near him, and then back to the ocean, and then he points to the ground, and he points to the circle that he pointed to, the second circle that he pointed to near you.
He's
And then-
not. He's in the ocean. And so he came here looking for another nut.
Where did he come from?
Where
There's
did he
nothing
go?
out there.
So Diego is going to take his claw and place it on the circle that he keeps referring to himself to, and then he'll draw a line to the circle that he points at us for.
He sort of nods vigorously and then points to the wood monster, and then gestures that he was sat in it, and then he sort of does this as if he was moving with it, and he walked along the line, and then he arrives at the circle that he's gesturing towards you and goes,
This man travels from far with this giant wooden monster.
But that line isn't very far. It's this long.
What do you
Sorry,
mean?
Jay, each
Hold
time you
on.
speak, you seem to be quieter than the time before. I've got you at
no.
200%. Can I
Oh no.
Sorry.
get you to do a tiny bit louder? Thank you. What did you say?
Got it. It's not very far. It's this long. It's not far.
The journey is only the length of the line, Diego, according to...
Mm.
Do you agree?
I'll think on it for a minute.
Nah, Diego, I don't understand. You said traveled far. Far from where? There's nothing out there.
You know this is gospel.
As you've been taught all your life?
What? Yeah. What do you mean? I know this has got that's. Yes. Don't you?
Well, as this creature stands before me, I can't help but question. And I'll sort of draw next to one of the circles, a stick figure of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll make it as big as the circle.
Okay. And he will then, on his little circle, draw lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stick figures. And then he'll put his finger up and he'll rush over to the wood monster. He'll come back with a giant tablecloth. And he'll put it down, and you'll see that this tablecloth is made of paper. You've never heard of paper or seen paper, but it's got a nice crinkly feel to it. And he shows you lots and lots of circles drawn in ink, with strange little words that don't make any sense. And then he gestures towards a large gap where there are no circles, and then points to the ground and that circle that you've drawn yourself on, and points to that gap on his tablecloth paper thing.
He's crazy.
Shh, that's not nice.
Cooper, his boat does smell very nice. There's sort of a whiff
I'm going over.
there's a whiff of spices coming from the boat.
Whilst he's distracted, I will go over to the boat.
Hey, give me an investigation check as you puddle off.
Okay.
Diego is going to sort of grab onto this paper thing,
Mm-hmm.
and while keeping his eyes on him, he'll sort of slowly pull it towards him,
Yeah,
see
he
if
lets
he's-
you.
and then he will quickly take it back in a flash and show it to Boulderbrest, and allow the 3 or 4 of us, I
Yeah.
guess.
You all sit around and look at this tablecloth with its circles and strange lettering, and then this gap where this man has pointed to and pointed towards you.
It's like a thin tree skin.
Yes,
I'll give you a D4 for that. A thick, thin tree skin. I love it. You have some inspiration on that.
How has he marked this tree skin? I cannot. I'm
Yeah.
afraid to like scratch into it.
Actually, I think ink is something you will have come across. You have seen people who paint and who draw, because obviously you guys read and write. Like, so you had to have written
Oh yeah, and then we have
and
dye
written
for our
on
clothes.
something. I don't know what I was going
Yeah.
for there, but reading and written.
I've never written it down or anything like that, but I mean, if I were to try to show you where some of my nuts are all over the island, there's a bay over on the other side that I can't bury them in, and there's a big space in between. It's kind of like this big open part here on this where there's nothing drawn. I think he's trying to show us where stuff is.
And then he's gonna reach over and very gently put his hand on the map and his other hand on your paw, Diego, and try and pull you towards him as if gesturing to take you with him. So,
I will growl at him like.
okay, he immediately jumps back, and instead he sort of he puts his hand out and he's like, and then he turns towards the boat where Cooper, your investigation check was.
I got a 12.
Okay, you found cheese. Everything else sort of went to the wayside as you were ducking your head into various boxes and barrels. You found cheese. You've never heard of cheese before. You've never seen cheese before, but it smells tasty and savory and interesting.
I'm eating.
And it's got like and it's got a large red waxiness on it. And when you bite it, oh! And you pull that wax out of your mouth, it comes out whole. Because you don't have any teeth, really. And then within that, you find this beautiful cheese. It's like you've just unwrapped a Baby Bell. I don't know if that's got any relevance to the Americans. Do you guys have Baby Bells?
We do.
Right. Okay. Do you have them in Do you have them in
Sure do.
Oz?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Baby Bells are global. The things you learn today. This is the one where Rico goes around and then we don't have them in Canada.
No, we do.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so you've just unwrapped a Baby Bell effectively, and you've got to the cheese inside, and as he sees you, he sort of, as he points into the box. But Diego, he gently gestures for you all to follow him to the boat.
He beckons us.
We
Shall we follow?
have to tell people about. But can. Oh,
Don't be such a stickler, Boulderbrest.
Think of the stories.
This could be our big break.
He leans you over and he shows you that the wood monster that he seems to have been sat on when he traveled across the ocean has a hole in the side of it. And he will take off a single plank of this tree skin and quite loudly drives a sharp, spiky, flinty object through it. And then takes it over to the water and tries to pick water up on it. And the water drops through the hole. And then he points to his wood monster. And he takes a cup of water and he pours it through the hole. And then he shrugs at you.
Is there a hole in his tree?
This is obviously some sort of vessel.
He points and
On the
taps
trees.
it, and the whole thing. And boat.
I try to tap it and say tree, but in our language.
he sort of at you, tries to emulate your grunty, growly thing, and then points at boat.
Diego will try his best to mouth.
Give me a performance check.
Boat.
Oh.
That's performance check, and it wasn't the bard, it was the wizard.
Wasn't the bard.
Here we go. How is it?
It's a 12.
To be fair, you are minorly charismatic, aren't you? Just
A little bit, yeah.
guys, I don't know if any of you have taken a sneaky peek at Jay's stats. You might have missed in the rolling. She did what I was expecting everybody else to do and rolled a 6, a 6, and a 7.
Ooh.
So has ended up with, I think, 5, 6, 6, 7, 10, 19. So it's a monster of charisma with no ability to do anything.
And nice.
But 12 up.
Wow.
Yes, you said a boat, and he nods vigorously, and he's like giving you this strange little hand motion that looks like he might punch you but not break his thumb. And then he goes to
This creature is easily amused.
the package, and he flicks something towards you. It also looks like a baked good.
Oh, I'll scoop it up.
You take a bite into it. You bite into it.
Sure.
It is a ginger nut biscuit, and it is
no.
really exciting. Nice. It's a flavor you've never experienced.
Tell them what you gave me.
Jean-Luc's still there with a dinner plate-sized piece of flatbread, just working his way through slowly.
It's like starting to
I'll-
dry in the mouth.
Diego will turn to Boulderbrest and be like, it's delicious. Much better than anything you've cooked.
Oh, you don't need that, do you?
I'll walk over and I'll hand it.
You
to
still got a handful of it, this biscuit, so
Try for
decent
yourself.
size for you.
I'll sniff it.
It smells good. No spice or herb you've ever smelt, but it smells good.
All right, I'll take a bite.
Okay.
And I
Cooper,
melt.
you have found lots of strange shiny things. Hundreds of them. All in one box. They're all long and thin with a flat top. And they're spiky.
Spiky.
Yeah. This is a nail.
Oh.
As in a hammer and nail.
I
You've
was
got a
talking about
whole
coins.
box. No, you've got a whole box of nails.
Oh,
That's
I'm
such a
gonna
good description.
I'm gonna try and drag the box out of the boat.
All of my theorizing about this session has been how will I describe things that everybody knows, but we have words for without words for. In the shower, I'm thinking, how am I going to describe a biscuit? But yeah, you find this box of nails, and they make a satisfying clink when you put your hand in.
Sure, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your wand, your hing.
Yeah, that. Yeah, but I will try and drag the box. Assuming it's heavy, I'll try and.
You can't move it. You can't even move it.
Okay,
an
well,
inch.
I'll just keep trying to move it.
Okay.
It's very obvious I'm trying to take it away.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like these large wooden crates, you can't move them if they had nothing in them. Not to
Sure.
mention the boat's got curved sides, so you'd be going uphill, and then it weighs something. So you're making no progress at all. But
Yes.
as he notices you having a fight with his box, he will reach in and take a single nail and put it in front of you on the floor, as if giving it to you.
I will pick it up.
And he sort of goes at you. He does a little hand gesture. He wags a finger and then.
I'll turn to Munch. Did he just flip me off?
I don't know. What? I think he wants you to eat that.
Oh.
Thanks, Joe. Real helpful.
I'll sniff it.
Yes, it smells like nothing. It smells like nothing at all. Maybe a tiny hint of salt water.
Oh.
All right, knock it off. I don't think he wants you to eat the thing.
Well, what does it want?
He will start taking out more of these shiny pointy things, and he will show you that they are pushed into his wood monster all the way along. And he will take out some sort of blunt instrument with a shiny head, and he will take a single one of these pointy things, and he will whack it with a really loud noise that makes everyone jump, as this pointy thing goes straight into the wood, and the wood monster doesn't even make a noise. As he
That's how he
demonstrates.
killed it.
The poor thing is traumatized.
He floats on this dead beast with a monster.
Oh my. He hurt it.
Doesn't
But
even
it's-
scream.
And then he will go and he will point towards a small tree on the edge of the island. And you guys do fell trees for wood, for firewood, for you've got little, like single piece carvings. So people carve a whole piece of wood down to one thing by shaving off bits of wood. They never connect two pieces of wood. You don't have nails, you don't have screws, you don't have glue. But you've seen things carved down. He will point to the tree and he will go and get something very similar to what you cut a tree down with, except this is a shiny version. And and he will start to whack at the tree,
He's trying to kill our trees.
leaving you guys free to either try and stop him, or to go and report it to the other members of the village, or just to watch intently.
I think
Jean-Luc-
Diego. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead,
No, you go first.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. As Diego's watching this, I think slowly he might be putting two and two together, and sort of ask the question to the others. Have you ever seen a tree fall into the water? It floats, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps this beast is not a beast, but many trees.
That's not a tree. Look at it.
It feels like a tree.
Then why do they call it a boat?
I'll hop over to the man and sort of like get his attention,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll lay my hand on the tree that he's trying to fell, and I'll repeat, but
He sort of makes this low hoot at you. Soon.
I may be mistaken then.
He sort of shrugs his hands and puts his hands to his ears and looks a little frustrated, and then he gestures back towards it, and he motions a sort of moving gesture, and then points over there and goes, boat. Boat. And then he chops out a large wedge of this tree, and slowly, the tree begins to fall. When you guys do this, it's very chaotic and it falls in any random direction. But he seems to have mastered the art of making it fall away from him. As the tree crashes to the ground, a couple of Duckfolk and a single squirrel come racing up along the beach and look up, and it's a giant! It's a giant!
Yes, that's right. Run for your lives.
No,
The Duckfolks just fly off.
uh,
The squirrel is a little still curious, but why aren't you running?
I'm curious.
listen.
What? Sorry?
Uh,
There we go. I'll come to you
I
one
just-
second, Jack. What did you say?
I'm
I'm
curious.
just
You're curious. Sorry. Go on, Jack.
I just want to say to him, listen, tell people about this, because this needs to be known.
Giant on the beach! Giant on the beach! Giant on the beach! Giant on the beach! Runs off, just going giant on the beach! Giant on the beach! To anyone and everyone he meets.
Okay, you could have been at least.
Well, yeah, I could have. Well,
He's gone.
okay,
That's it.
too late.
And very slowly, as this man begins to chop the tree down to what you would know as planks, but very sensible size pieces, and you will now see, Boulderbrest, that this tree is beginning to look like the pieces that were spiked together on that boat. He has made these pieces look like those pieces. And as he's doing this, slowly, hundreds of critter folk are going to come to the edge of the beach, look over. The most common thing you hear is, why is Boulderbrest so close to them? What is Diego doing? They're much more confused by your actions than by the giant. They want to know why you're being nice to it, friendly to it, whatever. And then suddenly they spy that Jean-Luc has a piece of flatbread. And they come flocking out in their droves to the boat to sort of swirl around and look. And the man suddenly looks bereft. And he's putting his hands out, and he's going to get lots of different bits of food out and start passing them out among the critter folk. It's like when you've got one piece of bread out at the lake in the park, and suddenly there's 1 million pigeons and 4,000 ducks coming at you. Except here, this poor guy has got to contend with all sorts of other things. There's one particularly excited Harangon who is jumping in and out of the boxes. You know his name to be Crapple.
Could I put some of that cheese and nails in my satchel?
Cheese and nails. You can take the single. You can take the single nail he gave you, and then you're going to try and climb up to the box to get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics check. At this particular moment in time, the man has resorted to talking to Jean-Luc and Diego specifically. And he's knelt down in front of you, and he's tapped himself. Heh. Heh.
Heh.
And then he points at you.
Yeah.
Kef?
Oh, I think he's asking for our names.
He's sort of... Kef.
Give it to him.
Jean-Luc?
He sort of looks at you and... Jean-Luc! As he imitates your voice, but to him it is a very high pitch. Jean-Luc!
Oh, is that so cute?
And then he sort of looks at him, Kef? And then he points at Diego.
Begrudgingly, he will say, Diego.
Yeah.
Close enough. Close enough.
Jean-Luc! Yeah. And then
Okay, well that's
he sort
little-
of points towards Cooper, who is currently climbing up his box. Cooper, what was your acrobatics check?
A dirty 20.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, you're able to get into the nail box with no problem whatsoever. And you'll throw a few into your satchel. Now give me an athletics check to try and get back out.
I'm not so good with the athletics.
That was the intention.
Better acrobatics.
Better to get in than to get out.
That's a 10.
This could be a theme of Cooper's character, I promise you. Yes, and as you are sort of flapping aimlessly at the side, you can't quite stretch your wings out enough to fly because the box is too small, but you can't really clamber up it because it's too tall. And as he sees you flapping about in his nail box, he points to Cooper and sort of indicates, F. Jean-Luc, Diego.
stupid.
Stupid? I like it. Diego, do you correct stupid or do you allow it to fly?
No, I'll probably correct. Cooper.
I was trying to have fun with it.
Cooper?
And I'll yell over if Cooper can hear me.
Cooper!
Say your name.
No,
aloud.
the human starts shouting your name in your language. Cooper! You hear it.
What?
And you see that this flesh man is yelling your name.
It speaks!
Cooper! Yes. And then he's going to reach over and very gently put his hands around you, pick you up, and put you in the boat.
What's it feel like having fleshy fingers touch?
Oddly warm.
Oh.
Slightly soft.
I'll as he puts me down, I'll run run up to his leg to try and get him to hold me again.
He gives you a very little pat on the head, and then he... Cooper. Yes.
I look around astonished. It speaks!
We should reward.
Yes, I taught him.
You did so.
Jean-Luc's
I'm a
gonna
very
take a
good teacher.
piece of the flatbread and bring it up to the beast to because he's been giving us treats every time we do something.
Nice.
So I'm gonna give it a treat.
Okay, and he will point to it. Bread.
Bread.
He makes no attempt to take it from you. He just names it. He thinks that's what
Diego-
you brought it to him.
So Diego's gonna look over at Munch, be like, Munch, share some food with this man. Or share some food with this thing.
What sort of food?
Whatever you're munching on.
All right. I mean, he's not getting the good stuff. I don't even use that myself. Why do you think I talk like this? It's hard to keep
Don't
your
be
teeth
so
out of the way of your tongue when you don't
Don't
grind
be
them
so
down enough.
selfish, man.
Anyway. All right. And I've been sort of hunting, if assuming we're still hanging around the boat here like this and talking to everybody, I've been sort of looking for more of those things that we obviously realize in real life are maps. But anyway,
How are you waving a leak at us?
No, it's celery.
Celery, right? Yeah.
I just suddenly saw this green thing crouch into the camera. Sorry, carry on.
Sort of. take a chunk out of it, and I guess turn it around politely to the other side. You want some of this?
Good idea. You might have mange.
He puts his
Spend
hands
whatever
up
you got here.
as if threatened, and
Good.
F points towards you.
He asks your name.
It's a dandelion.
No, no,
Dandelion.
All right. Munch. They call me Munch.
Munch.
Just once.
He hesitates for a moment and then sort of, Munch!
Yeah.
And then he sort of warily points very gently at Boulderbrest, and you can see he's more nervous of Boulderbrest than anyone else. Boulderbrest is probably the only creature that could threaten him with his bare hands. And for that reason, he's a little more cautious. You're a little less cute as well, if we're being honest. The Vulpin wasn't particularly cute either, but Boulderbrest really taking cute to an extreme. He sort of looks at Boulderbrest and... yes, sir. Oh? Half.
It takes me I think it takes me a bit to realize what you've all been up to and been doing, because I've been trying to like corral everyone from stealing his food.
Yeah, you've been trying to hold off the general populace. Your brother has urged you to go on and sort of turns to you, and you were the first one to meet a strange creature, so you should be the one to represent the island. Go forth, Boulderbrest, make a name for yourself. It's about time you stepped up in this family.
All right. And then I see him sort of like, I guess I con on to the, to this naming or telling each other our names, and I look up at him and Boulderbrest.
He sort of nods very solemnly and then, oh no.
Hold on. Boulder.
Oh, Boldo?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Boldo. And he takes these planks and he begins to show Diego how to make them into the boat. As he lays the plank over the hole in at one side, and then he gets to the other side and he holds out the shiny thing and the shiny blunt object, and he offers it to you, Diego. Do you want to hammer in a nail for him?
Yeah, I'd be a little apprehensive at first. I'd probably sort of like sniff like the metal head of the hammer.
A little salty. Gonna see a while.
Kind of like very slowly like grab it quickly away from him. Feel it. And if he beckons me to smash a nail, I'll try.
Yeah. At this point, as you start to push away the general populace and you've introduced yourselves with names and you've learnt the word for bread, and you've learnt the word for boat, you guys will be able to witness him re-sew the sail on the canvas on the sail, sorry. Repair the hole in the bottom of the boat. Then subsequently, he sort of gestures towards the boat and gestures towards the ocean. And he sort of, Kef points to the ocean. He puts his boat a little closer to the sea and points to each one of you one by one. And Munch, Boulder, Jean-Luc, Hill, Hooper. And he points very firmly to the beach. Kef, boat, points to the ocean.
He's gonna fall off the edge of the earth.
I say we let him.
Of course, Cooper's a flat earther. Why would he not be?
But we don't know that it's anything else.
You don't know that there's an earth, no, but he is clearly indicating that he is going to leave and that you are to stay.
this maniac intends to get back on this thing and head out into the oblivion. Why?
He will
What?
once again,
Probably got nuts to get back to.
noticing your interest, Munch, he will take his big piece of tablecloth paper thing, and he will point to the area where there's nothing, and he will slowly begin to draw a circle-y shape. He'll point to each one of you, and then each time he points to one of you, he draws a stick figure on that circle area. And then he points to a different circle. He points to him and points out to the ocean. And by this time, Munch, you've pretty much worked out what these maps are. And he goes to his pack and he takes out a very basic version of what he's holding right now. Just a sort of slight paper-drawn map. And again, he draws the same circle he's just drawn and draws you guys. And then he draws a little dotted line to another circle a long way away and then hands you that piece of paper.
Thanks. I guess that means nothing to him, but
He nods, and then once again, Kef, he points out to the ocean. He begins to push his boat out into the sea.
Wait.
Turns, tries to catch a fly, and sits in his boat. And begins to push out with a strange, long wooden stick until his boat is floating on the waves. When he's floating on the waves, he sort of starts to smile at you and sort of give you that thing again that he keeps doing. And at this point, you can realize that it is some sort of gesture to say that all is good, or that he is, he's trying to communicate with you in some way. And his voice floats out over the ocean to you as he says each of your names one by one. Waves out at them, and then pushes himself a bit further. And the boat floats out to sea. Super! Eternal curiosity turns back, and you will see that he has left a whole box on the beach. Obviously forgotten it, or he's too far to come back for it now.
Oh, well then, that's just such a shame.
Inside which is a hammer, it's all saw, a stack of nails, and a little version of the thing he chopped the tree down with. Like a mini axe. He's just left that, sat on the beach. We're going to wave goodbye to Kef, who we should probably name before we never use his handout ever again. Off he goes. And we're going to fast forward. Over the next few weeks, perhaps even months, it's fair to say that curiosity's got the best of the rest of the lot of you. With your newfound knowledge of nails and hammers and boats and dead tree monster things, you are able to fashion together a boat of sorts. At first, it was Cooper's incessant curiosity, although he has been told multiple times by each of you that even if you guys do get on a boat, he is certainly not coming. It is Diego's sort of passion for learning something new creates it up. Jean-Luc, you can't help but want to know what's beyond that horizon, what's beyond that ocean. Know what was going on. Munch, there's spaces on this map that need understanding. Boulderbrest, you're just constantly shaking your head thinking, what if another one comes? What will we do? We'll have to be prepared. We'll have to be ready. Well, the only way we can understand them is to visit them. And so you slowly put together this boat. And it's not bad, It's not bad. It's got sails and everything. I couldn't solve the problem of canvas in this island, so we're not going to discuss it. We're just going to magically assume it happened. You made a canvas out of, I don't know, really cool white
The biggest ass leaf that we
green
have.
leaves, exactly.
Yes, believe.
we've all got scarves from somewhere.
Exactly.
exactly.
So there's some sort of, I don't even really understand myself how canvas is made, so it's something to do with cotton, I think.
It's just very tightly woven, right? So I imagine that we don't have the technology to as tightly weave.
I don't know, but it magically
as best as we
occurs.
can.
Yeah,
You made the
smoothing
biggest,
it over.
tightest loom.
Yes, exactly. And you're able to create this boat. And one sunny morning, despite Boulderbrest's brothers, you can't be serious. This is a terrible idea, but someone should go. I just don't know why it should be you, but then again, what if it's not you? I don't know. It seems very scary, and Diego, all of your brothers wanting to go is the thing that spurred you on the most to be the person that goes. Silver, you just keep curiously wandering around, looking at what they're doing, watching them. And as you know, it's the morning of the launch. You smell something very interesting inside a box on their boat. They seem to have wedged it quite tightly closed, but you're able to open it.
Yes.
And as you climb up to look inside it, it just suddenly shuts behind you. You find yourself trapped inside this box.
Oh, this is exactly what I was hoping for.
But in the bottom of this box, there's two of those shiny nails, the shiny hammer, and some bread. It's a duck's dream.
Yeah, I will put the hammer and nails in my bag, and I will quietly eat the bread.
Yep. The rest of you, you get ready for launch, and you get onto the boat. I think it's fair to say that Boulderbrest is going to be the one shouldering it down the beach. I think Diego is coordinating what is going on.
An excellent supervisor. You nailed the. You hit it. Yeah.
Munch and Jean-Luc together are probably trying to use that one oar to probe at the beach to push your way out until Boulderbrest leaps on the boat and can take over with that. At which point you can give directions and I don't know. You can cheer them all on, Jean-Luc. Very slowly the boat eases out into the ocean.
Wow, we
very
built that.
impressive boat, no less. Yes, it's even got a mini boat on it. Honestly, I just wanted to have a boat picture so that we had something to stare at when we're in the ocean. But yes, you have built yourself a boat.
Boat from memory, jeez.
Yeah. As you... Where's my Age of Sail? Oh, there we go. As you slowly edge out on you guys getting to get a little bit of a rhythm for this. And it's all good and exciting and wonderful. Until suddenly you look back and not see the world tree. You look in all directions. And there is only the blue water. Ocean around you.
What's happened? It's gone.
Every place I've ever left and not feels real close together right now.
Didn't look that far on that thing he had.
We are fools. He's led us toward certain deaths.
But when Saman came in, he appeared from nothing. So maybe we are heading towards something.
Maybe we're gonna end up with a hole in our boat. We don't want his as an example.
Oh, God, don't say that.
Okay, I think we're all stressing ourselves out. So he's gonna pull out his little flute. He's just gonna do like a little little chirpy tone while like kicking around, trying to distract everybody from anxiety, but not doing a great job about it because he's also worried about getting a hole in the boat.
I will say at this point, you may all add 15 XP. You have got to the ocean.
You guys just hear very quietly from a barrel nearby, everyone should stay calm.
As he says this, the little lid just pops up a little bit, and there's little Cooper's face.
Cooper, how did you get here?
Well, it's a funny story. So, I was, around the building site, just seeing what you
The story bores me already. You're here now. It's fine.
Yeah. You don't need details, and I will, like make sure that my bag's closed so they don't see the hammer sticking out of it.
I kind of feel better you're not back on the island digging everything I've put in the ground up while we're not away, while we're gone,
That's what you...
Actually, it could be good. You could be useful.
He can fly.
Let's try to look at this as a potentially good thing. I am failing to be able to do that.
Why wouldn't
Somebody-
it be a,
somebody
why
help.
wouldn't it be a good thing?
Do, 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 do. It's a good thing.
Just
Well, now you've got a theme tune. Cooper, it's a good thing. Yeah, as you guys are slowly drifting, suddenly a little way over to the... You see the ocean surface ripple. A large grey island beneath the surface. Rises and rises and rises, and suddenly out the top of the island it blows air! And then it rises even further, and it's got a face! A huge mouth. It's like the biggest fish you've ever seen. One single large eye regards you sharply as this majestic, not island, grey creature rises even further and lapses down beneath the water, leaving your boat rocking ever so slightly. And moments
oh
later,
shit!
a
There's
second
things
one,
below us.
huge gust of water into the air, and then sort of reaches, and it almost rises out the water, out into the water. These creatures are so big they could be islands.
Oh, I know how to handle this. Ahem. Jean-Luc? And he's gonna point.
The creature just simply rolls its shoulder over and flops back into the water, saying nothing.
I don't think it's a calf.
Ah,
We've entered the land of giants. This was an awful mistake.
we should call it something. What's the biggest thing on our island that we know of?
The world
The
tree.
world tree.
World tree, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
It's not a tree. World.
You do know it's
Fish.
a fish. It's definitely a fish.
World fish.
World fish. I like it.
Goldfish.
World fish. Hello.
As you wave
Can
at the
we-
world fish, it does not wave back. Go ahead.
Can we talk to it? Are
Uh,
you actually able to communicate with that giant? Say your name. Jean-Luc?
Jean-Luc is world fish, and no, it is just flopping about. But have some respect.
You guys have ducked your head underwater, and no, you can't hear much when your head's underwater, so that's probably why it's not
Oh,
I don't know what's going.
got water in his
Alright.
ears.
we have to wait for when he's up out of the water.
Yes.
It's a long time before that happens. In fact, it doesn't come back at all.
Aww. He's
Are
not
we traveling like with them though?
No,
Or have they
it
sort of, like,
it
crossed?
surfaced and went and surfaced and went, and it's crossed across the back of you, and now they're long gone. But you guys sort of keep looking out, but sign of them at all.
I know you said we don't have paper, but do we have do we use little tablets to
You would have
mark-
used little bits of sort of scratched wood or etchings or even
Slate or
tablets or
something.
slates,
Yeah.
etc. All sorts. Yeah.
Okay, so Jean-Luc is gonna just get a piece of slate and just mark down world fish and just draw a crude image of a big fish with a little spurt of something coming out of his head.
Give me a side of handshake. See how good the drawing
Oh.
is.
God. Okay.
Also, while Jay's doing that, I just want to confirm we do have some paper, right? Like, does Munch is Munch not holding?
You have the one map.
The one piece of paper,
Big
yeah.
map.
Yeah.
So it's Munch's arm width. Sort of it's probably a couple of feet wide, maybe a foot and a half wide. It's a big map. Even for a human, it's a big map. So for you guys, it's a little bit tableclothy.
Rolled a 6.
That's good. It's definitely a fish. It's got little else representing specifics of it being a large fish or any of its features, but it's definitely a fish. It's sort of one of those, those 3-line drawings. Yes, With the tail.
No, he was more like this. He was more like this. And I'll attempt to correct her thing.
Yeah, between
give
the
her
two of
help.
you can round it a little bit, but it is still looking a little like a slate drawing.
Thank you.
It will be at this moment that you realize the sun is beginning to set. It's not too hot out here for you guys. You're not all that bothered by the heat. But you come to the sudden realization that you are going to be on this vessel when it's dark. Might be a little worrying for some of you.
So, question: did we have access to fire on the island?
Yes, but you would also know that fire is what you burn wood with.
Of course.
I think all of you would know that fire on the boat is not an option, unless it's on a sort of little torch that you hold up.
And even then, that'd probably be extremely unsafe.
Dangerous.
And it's very sudden. It's like drifting down the horizon, and there's a beautiful array of stars, and 2 of the moons are out, but neither is shining particularly bright tonight. There are 3 moons in the world of Mazraya. A perfectly bright night is called 3 moons bright. But this is 2 moons, and neither are in their full waxing. So that is, you can see where you're going, especially those of you who have dark vision, which I think is probably all of you.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I have.
I don't.
60 feet of dark vision.
I do.
Yeah, the badgers definitely do, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I don't.
It'll be on the left-hand side under your passive perception. You have it, otherwise it will just say senses and be blank.
Yeah, nope.
Nope. Ah, very good.
Nope,
Yeah,
me
so only
either.
3 of you with dark vision. Mice and duck don't see in the dark. That might actually be just accurate.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, but you've got very good senses in general, a lot of you. Anybody rocking like a heavy minus to perception? Anybody sat there on like a -2 or something?
I'm at a -1.
You're the lowest, but you
But I
do
think-
have the dark vision to
I
compensate.
think that's more because like my mind is focused on other things
Yeah, that's fair.
than I can actually see.
So in the darkness, you guys are able to maneuver about, but it is intimidating. It's a black landscape. It is darker than any night you've ever known because there are always a couple of lights on Chimvaya. Oh, there is nothing.
How choppy is the water?
Very, very gentle.
Could
The
I
boat's just lulling.
swim a little
In fact,
bit in
it's
it?
almost going too slowly. You want to try and swim at night in the dark on the water.
Cooper.
Please, Cooper.
Nothing like a
No.
session 1 death.
I would advise against this.
Suddenly.
What
your
about
name-
what about if a world fish comes up, mate?
I'll say hello.
No, you won't.
What about if you say hello inside its mouth?
And we would say goodbye.
Then it will really hear me. We've not seen them in hours. They're gone.
Uh,
Not gone.
Cooper, give me a perception check.
That's a 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dark. The water's
Sure is.
moving a little bit. It is quite a
So
long way down off the edge of the boat.
I can fly.
Go ahead, Rico.
I was gonna say, so I imagine that the water is reflecting the stars in the sky.
It is beautifully, yeah.
Is there, like, looking out around the boat, are there any disturbances where the reflection isn't,
See nothing but gentle waves in every direction.
as far as the eye can see?
So my question is, like, as a group, have we decided we're trying to go any particular place or direction, or are we just like letting the wind blow us?
Well, I would assume that our attempt would be to follow the imaginary line that Kef drew us. What that means to us,
Right.
I have no idea. but, like,
Unfortunately, there is no concept of north, south, east, or
yeah,
west.
that is the
on
intention.
the
We just
map.
like we left in like.
I think it's fair to say that you probably followed the same line out of the
Yeah,
water that he
right,
did,
that's
assuming you were on the dotted line, and then have tried to vaguely stick to this line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite the fact
What
that
I
you have no contact.
Yeah, what directions they are, but in trying to keep going a particular direction, what I have done is I brought along a nut, and I put it in the very prow of the boat, and then I will hang out somewhere like actually I could climb obviously as a squirrel, so if we have actual genuine climbable size masts, it would go up the mast, but
Yeah.
with another nut, and then I move it around, and I can kind of feel the difference in their positioning. This is my version of like navigator's tools, basically. To sort of like slowly feel that, like, wait a second, I can always sort of know the position of all the nuts that I've ever placed anywhere. Not perfectly, but within some level of reason. And
Even those that are a long way behind you.
right, which now feel like all one place basically, right? But between that and the one on the boat and sort of another one in hand, I try to keep us at least on course, not knowing where the hell that's going, of course.
Love.
You do keep a great head.
Um,
As you do this, I'm just going to add to that, Joe, that when you look up to the sky, you can note your position based on a few big, bright stars and the moons. Obviously, the moons do move in the sky, and you would be aware of that, but for now, at least, you're able to sort of see the logic that if you were paying a lot of attention, you could also navigate with those stars, but right now, your nuts are doing a great job. Sorry, Jack.
That's all good. I was just saying how amazing that is, and that you just tell me where to row. I've got the oar. I'm rolling.
You've got the one oar. Yes.
Yeah.
You've got something that moves the mast and the sails to the right and left, which is how you're doing most of the traveling, and the oar is sort of to allow you to do a little bit more ruddering, a little bit more sudden changes in direction. But eventually, you float through the night by one, fall asleep. I don't think anybody thought to keep watch or anything like that, really. When you wake in the morning, sorry, reverse back a bit, Cooper. You did decide not to go in the ocean, or?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming like it's obviously not pitch black outside, right?
No, it's not.
You can see a bit. So yeah, I don't see why.
I will say that if you jump out the front of the boat and onto the water, you will very quickly realize that if you don't grab onto the boat, it's going to overtake you a million times. It's probably moving about 140 feet movement speed, and you've got 40? 80 with a dash?
Yes, 40.
Yeah,
40.
so you can just about scramble to hold onto it again, but I don't think Coop would let himself.
No, the only reason I want to is just to see what the ocean water feels like.
Okay. So after a little while, you have rope. I don't know how or why you have rope. Maybe he left a coil of it. I'll say that, this is something we didn't discuss in session 0. Group inventory. So I'm just going to ping this at you. I've actually got a few things for you. So here is the first thing. That is the date and time. It is now 200 hours on day 2. There will be a calendar eventually, but I haven't written it yet, so can't have it. Most importantly, there is a group loot tracker. Loot goes here. For now, if you just want to keep track of anything you get in there, later after the session or on the break, we can discuss whether one person's going. But for now, you can put 50 foot of hempen rope in the group loot tracker. There is also a group editable document, group notes, if you wish to keep any notes together as a group in there. That is something you're more than welcome to do so. And then there is also a cast list, which you can also edit. Put down the names of any characters. I know some of you prefer your paper notes, but if you do want to take any group notes, those are the tools. Anything else, let me know. But anyway, there is 50 foot of hempen rope on the boat, and it is well secured to one mast. So Cooper, if you wanted to take a grab of that, you could very much sit on the water like a duck, and paddle with your feet, but also hold the rope and be pulled along. A little bit like those stupid idiots that go roller skating behind cars. No offense if any of you are those idiots. I don't think any of you are so wild-minded. But yes, you know those people who have roller skates on and then hold a rope and go behind a car. This is Cooper on a boat. It is...
One would assume that water skiing would be the appropriate
Yeah, that's what I was
under
thinking.
these circumstances.
Except for the fact that he's sitting, so he's got no control, right? If he was
Sure.
standing, he'd have control. But I do agree with you. Water skiing would have made
It's
a lot
just
more
water
sense.
skiing for the first time. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. So, Cooper, you, first of all, you're getting moved to the side by currents and waves. The only water you've sat in the past has been quite placid. It's been little lakes or rivers on Chimvaya. You may have toodled into the ocean a little bit, but it always just brushes you back to shore. Sometimes you end up on quite an angle going up some of the waves, which is quite exciting, quite fun. And you also get twisted to the side, so sometimes you're not quite facing the boat. The currents take you around, so it's like you're, I don't know, you're on a waltzer that's also going up the sides. I tell you what it feels like. Imagine you curled yourself into a ball and stared straight upwards and then went down a water slide. That's what's happening to you right now. It is a very uncontrolled process. But it's fun.
Yeah, is the water cold?
Fucking
warm?
freezing.
That's
Even for a duck.
I've got resistance
Yes.
to cold damage, so I'm
Even
assuming
for a
I
duck,
do
it is
somewhat well in
cold.
cold.
Because you're insulated to the water. You've dealt with cold water before, but this is the coldest water you've ever known.
Yeah.
And its
I
saltiness
can
gets
see
a
the
little stuck to you.
Titanic down there.
Yes, definitely. You will note that when you get off, you're going to have to really shake yourself out to get the salt out of your feathers.
Yeah, I'll just, if anyone's still like around and not going to sleep, I'd probably just shake in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Get everyone wet.
You can do that. As the night falls, slowly, or each one of you falls asleep, and you're woken up in the morning by the caw, a loud, large bird. This bird has a huge wingspan. Drifts very slowly above. At one moment, it swoops down, and you realize that its width is almost as long as your boat. Then it goes right down to the water, comes up with a fish. And it's not like you would know the difference between a bird and a bird person, right? You've seen the corvin and the dovefolk and whatever. This is definitely just a bird. You wouldn't make any attempt to speak to it. You know that birds don't talk back. But you do see it sort of winging on down. It's tropical. It's exciting. It's different. It's something unusual. But you might have an inkling about something to do with birds. Does anybody have proficiency in nature or survival?
I have
like a
survival.
3 or 4 out of 5, probably.
I have both.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, anybody who has one or the other can roll whichever they prefer. And you will get different results based on who you are.
Go nature.
You don't need to click it twice, Jack. It'll roll with advantage automatically.
Oops.
Although you did manage to get a nat 1 on both your advantage rolls and a different number.
Beautiful.
Josh.
I got a 14.
Okay. So Munch with a 25. That does look like a bird that goes very close to land. It's definitely a seabird of sorts. But no bird doesn't nest, right? So you must at least be somewhere near some land. Boulderbrest with a 16, you would note that you could be fishing in that water. You could be feeding yourselves out of that water. Immediately it comes to mind that you used to have those nets back at home, and you did put one on the boat to use when you get to a lake, and suddenly you realize you could hang it out the back of the boat and get fishing. Sorry, Josh, you got a...
14. It was nature, if that makes sense.
14 in nature. Yeah, you suddenly come to realization that food is going to be scarce for you guys out here on the water, and you don't know how long you're going to be. And suddenly your sort of garrulous enjoyment of the bread comes back to you, and you're like, ooh, maybe I need to pace myself. Diego, did you roll?
No, I have no.
I thought you were fishing in nature. Okay, cool. Fantastic. So with that, you notice, could be fishing, definitely somewhere near land-ish, kind of, and food is going to be scarce.
If Munch had sort of relayed to us that, certainly this bird must have a nest somewhere, Diego would likely suggest that we attempt to follow it for a while. Maybe. It's got to go back. It's got to go back home at some point.
Smart move, mate.
It has overtaken your boat, to be fair.
Yeah.
Quick, we gotta speed up.
What do you think?
Is it
Munch?
going in the direction that we're already aiming for?
Ish. What do you think, Munch?
Well, I don't know. It's all I'm sure of is that there's not nothing out here. That Kef wasn't the only thing out here far away from the island. It's out here, but there must be other places. But it could go pretty far from any kind of land. Shouldn't we just try to go with this map that we have? Damn course. I don't know.
I was going to ask you for a thing that I realize you can't give me, so just bear with me 1 second. Let's give you a Navigator's Tools skill.
Oh, no.
I'm going to call it Navigation because it fits better. I will remember to do this for some of the others of you who have things. You are proficient in Navigator's Tools, is that correct?
Correct.
Right. If you refresh your page, you should have a Navigation skill. It's probably akin to your Perception skill. I think you're proficient in Perception and it's Wisdom, but still, it's nice to have it there. Go ahead and give us a Navigation check. This is to see how close the bird is going to the line on your map.
Sure. That would be 14.
Yeah, it seems to be going generally in the same line, so there is no harm or foul to following it. Oh, somebody should have played a chicken. I could have made so many foul jokes. But yes, anyway, as you follow this large bird, I will tell you it's an albatross. None of you know what that is, but it's, if you want a visual in your mind, that is what it looks like. It's an albatross. I'm an albatross. And as you follow it along, idly through the ocean, it will at least mean that for a few hours, Munch, you don't have to concentrate quite so hard on navigating because they can just follow the bird. The warm sunshine gets to you after a little while, and some of you might take a doze or a nap. Boulderbrest, give me a survival check. Let's see if you caught any fish.
Yeah, you gotta get to fishing. Gotta get some tucker.
I think we might have a little bit of music.
Oh,
These
far
waves are
out.
beginning to make me feel a little dizzy. Yes.
I got a 3.
3! There is one tiny, piddling little fish. It is smaller than Cooper's foot. It is just pathetic. But you did catch it.
Chop it 3 ways. Munch, has munchies.
You chop this tiny little goldfish 3 ways. Who's getting the tail? Who do you dislike most? Well, who do you dislike third most? Because 2 people aren't getting shit. But yes, you divide it 3 ways. So those people who are hungry, cast your nets back out, and continue onwards, slowly drifting across the water. And at this point, anybody who is proficient in perception or has a perception of 13 or higher can give me a perception roll. I think that is probably Joe. No, actually, Cooper might be proficient in perception.
I am, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that.
And I am.
Are you cool? Great, yeah. 3 perception checks, please. Cooper, Boulderbrest.
13.
13? Cooper, there is a real sparkly sort of glint in the water ahead of you where the sun is reflecting, and it's very exciting, very dazzling. And you've been sort of mesmerized by it for at least half an hour. Munch, you got a...
8.
An 8? Yeah, you're so focused on the navigational lines that you sort of not looked off of that short, narrow path. But Boulderbrest, looking around for any danger, suddenly spy ye to the west, to the right, sorry, not to the west at all, to the right of the way you're going, ever so slightly, sort of 30-degree angle to the right, what looks to be a bump on the horizon. It could be land.
Oi, something yonder.
Is it a world fish?
I don't know.
Is it
I think
home?
it's moving.
It is definitely not
I don't-
home. Munch knows that is the wrong direction of nuts.
And we've been successful in our
Can
journey.
you fly up and have a bit of squiz?
Yeah.
If he goes up at 10-foot flying speed, he's going to fall behind the boat.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Very quickly. You do have a crow's nest, so to speak. Munch and Jean-Luc and Cooper would be very able to ascend this. Cooper with a little bit of a flap. You could send Diego up, but it's a little bit more of a struggle for him. His weight is a little much for the mass. Boulderbrest, you must not try and climb next. You will
Yeah, I
have to
can't. I have an idea though.
Yeah.
Can we tie a rope around Cooper and he can be like a kite? And then we
Ask
can just
Cooper.
reel him back in.
Ask Cooper. Can he be a kite? Does he want to be a kite?
We don't have to do that. I just thought of it. And I'm not a smart badger.
Yeah, I would explain. Diego would explain to Cooper. Listen, Cooper. The higher you can get, the more you can see out. Yes, you agree?
I suppose that's true.
Yes.
In a way.
I'm sorry, I don't really like the idea. I just had it, and I don't normally have ideas, and I was excited.
Oh, this is an excellent idea. Feeding of a leader. I think you should be the one to tie the rope to it, Cooper.
Oh, no. Someone with... My hands are trembling. This is a lot for me.
Cooper, are you up for this?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Yes, I respect that. Don't...
Cooper,
Let's not
listen.
push him.
Cooper.
There is a brief thought in your mind, ever so slightly for one split second, Boulderbrest, that anyone could be a kite. And then you realize that not everyone has wings.
No, yeah. Diego,
Yeah.
maybe you can fly and we just don't know.
Cooper, listen. The four of us, we bring something to the table.
What do you
Boulderbrest
bring?
is an excellent leader. Munch here, he's been leading us in the correct direction. Jean-Luc entertains us. And I, of course, am the smart one. But you, my friend,
I'm gonna need a second opinion on this.
we're going to find...
This is not...
We will-
that's
we will
not
find you.
very... No.
we will find you a
right.
purpose.
Jean,
Perhaps you can scout for us. What do you think of this job?
I think I'm the smart one and you can scout.
I think that you would be mistaken.
Well, why don't we try it? Why don't you scout for now and I'll be the smart one and we'll see how we go.
Cooper, you must not be so smart because you are the only one with wings, my friend.
But we all have eyes.
That's true. And
Yeah,
we can
a
all see
smart
that
person
bump.
would know that.
And we can all see that bump from here, no?
It's true, but you would get a really good viewpoint up there.
Munch, is it fair to say that you are up the crow's nest at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and probably we're just by this point
Well,
we're getting close
again.
enough that
Great. They're still
doesn't
having
really
this bit of a discussion when you see that the bump has a tree on it. It's a small tree. It's nothing like the world tree. But there is one, and then there is two, and then there is 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. And suddenly you begin to see a beach, and you come to the realization that whether you want to land there or not, you're going to. And as your boat sort of makes a beeline for the shore, I have to open Jamel's notes here. I need you all, please, tell me, what are you doing as you sort of headlong come towards the beach? Are you making any plans? Are you jumping ship? Are you securing things down? Are you battling the hatches? Are you just holding on to the mast? What are you doing? What is happening in this moment of tension?
Jean-Luc is very sadly scribbling out his slate note of the duck who became a kite, because it will not be a part of the story anymore. But he's gonna do what the human was doing and do like that catching flies waving while hanging onto the side of the boat to like, if this is a universal when before you land on a beach sign.
What about you, Boulderbrest? What are you doing?
I would offer to grab Jean-Luc and Cooper and just brace for impact.
You're gonna brace to impact. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just protecting them.
Up in the crow's nest. What's your plan, Munch?
Yeah, just try to call out any, obviously like worse obstructions, big rocks or anything like that. You know what I mean? And potentially sort of, can we just like not have the sails anymore? We need to slow down.
Diego, do you reel in the sails?
Yes, 100%. I think I'd likely be doing that before Munch even.
Okay, and then what?
mentioned it.
And now you've reeled in the sails, and you still realize you're still moving very
And
fast
we're
toward
still
this island.
blasting.
Oh, yeah.
Diego's freaking out, and he's probably like leaned over the side, ready to jump ship.
Okay, and Cooper, what are you doing? Do you join Boulder's brace to impact, or are you going to do something?
Yes, but I am squirming ever so slightly to try and get a better look. But I will stay in his
So
arms.
you're going to brace, but also poking your head out to have a little look?
Yeah.
Okay. I need, first of all, from you all, as you all hit the sand bank, a deck save, please. Munch at disadvantage. Because you are high up, not because
course.
you're
Nice.
a squirrel. Just in case you're wondering. Double nat ones?
Yes.
Love that. Disadvantage
Yikes.
affects you not. That is great. Anybody else get below a 10?
Got a 5.
That's good. But a Boulderbrest, did you get above a 16?
No, I got a
No.
12.
Okay, so you're able to brace yourself, but you are not able to help Jean-Luc as they come spilling out of your brace. Munch sort of flies off of the mast, landing on his back in the water. It's quite a gentle landing, actually. You don't take any damage, but you do find yourself suddenly dipping under the water. Then you sort of foot on a rock and you push back up and rolling off the beach. And actually, you realize very suddenly that you've avoided the worst of it. As you see Jean-Luc tumble towards the front of the boat, and suddenly the boxes and the sails and anything else that is not tied down starts sort of moving around. Boulderbrest, you take a box to the back. Cooper, as you sort of just about move your wing out the way as another box slides down, you see your box with your bread in it slowly head towards the beach before
Oh
you.
no, I ate that the second I.
No, but it was the box that once held the bread.
Okay, sure.
Yes, the one that you came in is what I mean. Sort
Yeah.
of slide towards, it's going to make the beach before you do. And then suddenly, just as the boat reaches a little higher, you just see a flying mouse reaching out in front. And Jean-Luc, I will take a second deck save as you try and roll as you land on the beach first.
Oh no.
I'll just shout out, Jean-Luc's a kite.
That was a 4.
Yeah, and as you land on the beach and roll forwards, you find yourself in a small bush. Coming to a stand, Munch has a beautiful crest of sand in his hair, or headpiece, whatever you want to call it. The other three of you, a little rocked about, but kind of okay. You'll note that all sorts has been tossed around from your boat, but you have made landing, and you may place yourself somewhere on the shore, as we will take a short break. Right back.
Yay.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of Chronicles. We have landed on the beach! But where, I hear you ask? Well, we don't really know. There's a rock. There's some cool palm trees that you've never seen. Kinda hot. It's deserted. What are you doing?
Jean-Luc is
There's every-
spitting. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, is everyone all right? We just survived a boat wreck. So we don't know the word for ship.
He's spitting
Yes, I'm
leaves
fine.
out of his mouth.
Where's Munch?
I'm over here. How's the boat?
Question, how is the boat?
Oh
Where's the boat?
Can't see it.
As you look over, it's coming. I've kind of forgotten to. But yeah, as you look over, the boat is doing all right. You don't see any holes in it, which is good. Yeah.
We're already better at this than that Kef guy.
Speaking of, do you think this is where he landed?
I don't know. We were following the line pretty well.
Do we see any other boats around?
No boats, no lines either.
Maybe this time without risking your life, as it were. Cooper, once again, could we call on you to help us out a bit? And maybe fly up and have a squiz. Please?
That's
Okay.
an Aussie word, a squiz.
It's like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
I'm playing-
Love it.
I'm putting the the lingo in.
Beautiful. Have a squiz. Are you gonna have a squiz?
Yeah,
Cooper?
I'll do it.
I know I started the trend of being mean to Cooper, but I didn't want him squizzed.
It's too late now. Yeah, I'll fly up.
Okay. You sort of flap up and flap up and flap up, and eventually you get above the trees. Over to your left, you see sort of strange structures. They look like they're made of stone, maybe? They're quite big. There's lots of walls. They don't seem particularly connected to each other. And then you see, just a little way forward, you see a beautiful looking lake. Crystalline, shining. Looks stunning.
I'll just shout down, "There's a lake!"
I have no idea what this is going to do because it won't show me the preview. So that's either a boat or it's a failure.
It looks like a potato wedge.
I can't
Just
see
the
it.
sail of a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
easy.
see it. I see it.
Oh, yeah, it is just the sail. Okay. It is not helpful. I will continue my...
That's all that's left. Oh my god!
I will continue
We're
my
stranded.
search for the right thing. Eventually.
good.
There we
I
go,
can't
there
see
it
it.
is.
It's just a blank thing on my screen.
No, that's it. That's it. For sure.
That's less potato wedgy. Yeah, that's good.
The potato wedges are what you've come to this island looking for. But yes, I'm going to move your tokens around a little bit. Munch, you're in a bush. Sorry, Jean-Luc, you're in a bush.
Okay.
Munch, you're on your back there. And then Diego, Boulderbrest, Cooper. Did I give you elevation, Cooper? Are there elevation markers if you press the thing that you would normally do to put a status on yourself? Elevation markers? It'd be like little numbers that say like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. My Roll20 is just entirely misbehaving. I've just got blank boxes all over the place. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. Yeah, how high do I
So you're
need to
about
be?
50 feet. 50 feet right now.
There we go.
And as you look over, the lake is in that direction.
Yeah,
as
I'll shout down and say, "There's a lake over there," and I'm pointing the direction.
Munch, as you begin to sit up, you hear a noise coming from your left. And you see a small crab tapping its claw on the rock.
We've had crabs on the other island, I assume.
Yeah, not this particular color. This is bright orange and a little larger than you'd be expecting, but you definitely know it's a crab.
Yeah. There's some sort of a crab over here. It's like an animal that's also a nut. So if we're hungry, I don't think I got a pot of that fish earlier.
No, I kind of expected you to have a bit of stuff that you eat.
Got
I
some
mean, a
daisies,
little.
Yeah,
dandelions.
I sort of point exactly.
I don't know how long they're gonna last. We should gather some stuff here on
Listen.
this island.
You definitely packed
If
for like
there's-
2 days journey on the food on the boat. None of you thought to pack any further. So you are running low on stocks already. Especially as
If-
he ate all the cheese and bread.
If there's a crab or like just animals, then they eat something so we can survive. That lake could be fresh water.
As you're saying this, you look up to the tree and you will see that there is some sort of fruit hanging from it. It is brown and spherical. And a little way over is a beautiful bright orange fruit that is quite large, almost the size of your head. Hanging from a different tree. Sorry, you were mentioning the lake was fresh water as well.
Yeah, potentially.
Perhaps a suitable fishing location.
Yes. What are these small stone mountains? What were you saying? There was
Stone structures
Like
out to the northwest.
Cooper?
All he knows is that they look like buildings, but they weren't connected. It was like a wall and then a gap, and then another wall and then a gap.
Yeah, I don't know if
Well,
Cuba would have the words to just really.
Well, you've got
describe
structures
them.
at home, right? You've got buildings.
Sure, yeah, I
and
think
you know what
I
stone
think
is.
the only
So,
point
yeah.
of interest for Cooper would be the lake. So I think that's the only thing he's said.
Did they bring any water with them on this 2-day trip across the ocean? Like,
Yeah, you had some
drinkable
water.
Oh, okay.
Like, you
That's
might be
right.
running a little low, but you've got some water.
Okay.
In the sun,
Jump.
you definitely got a bit thirsty.
Yeah.
And I assume we're smart enough to know not to drink seawater,
Yes.
right?
We've grown up on an island with a beach.
Yeah.
If you did drink seawater, you very quickly learned not to.
Cooper pointed out a lake, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the northeast.
Okay. Jean-Luc is gonna start scampering in that direction.
Great. Yeah, you can head a little further in. I meant to give you this. This is a sort of, as you look to the right, this is the sort of island you're on.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful vista. Obviously the wreckage of your boat, it's not really a wreckage. Your boat is behind you. And that's just sort of like the way the island looks. So as you're heading towards the lake, you're heading into more sort of thick and denser jungle, so to speak.
Do we have mountains on the island?
No, but you do have hills, so you can sort of make the logic that is just a really big
Cliff
hill.
faces, I assume, maybe.
And yes,
That's
you do
a
have
big hill.
You do have some cliff faces on one side, so yes, you would have seen some structures like that. But yeah,
Okay.
you are heading into the jungle. But you want a map again? Look at me, 2 maps, 1 session.
Wow.
It's not gonna. And I believe your token should already be present. Please tell me you can see.
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. You see, there was a big lake a little further up, but there were sort of smaller, littler lakes elsewhere, and indeed you can make out this beautiful fresh water. It looks bright blue and sparkling.
Oh.
I will ask you please to pretend you're playing a video game. Move your token when your character is moving.
Oh.
Cooper, are you in the air, Junior Birdman?
No, I'm probably back down.
Okay, you're back down to the waddle. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Back to the water.
Jean-Luc, wait up.
No, it's so pretty.
Now, hold on.
I need to see.
Stop there, please.
Look, we don't.
1 step back, Jean-Luc. 2 steps back now, behind the line, if you don't mind.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Got
as you
excited.
get to about there, you see something shambling out toward.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Second. As this creature sort of comes out of the water and starts to step towards
Oh my
you.
god.
Oh,
Well, it's
no.
jaunty. It's got cool little webbed feet and hands like a duck. And it looks at you and it lets out this long.
Maybe he's friendly.
And then it takes another step towards you. And another one and goes, "Hiya!" Raises its hands at you.
Is that a calf?
It's not
That's a
even
cat.
less fur.
It's much uglier than the one that we saw.
Diego, what do we do?
I'm watching this thing. Does it look hostile? Does it look like it's...
It is advancing towards you.
Jean-Luc, get behind me.
Give me a insight check, please, Diego.
Sure. 17.
It's wearing some clothing, so it might be capable of socializing. But it also has a bit of a nasty-looking face on it, and it is lumbering directly at you. Most wild creatures, when they approach new wild creatures, would do so cautiously, perhaps stop every now and again, tilt their head, etc. He's doing none of that. He's got the full confidence of an advancing.
It's hostile. It's not a calf.
Jean-Luc, get behind me.
It's web feet. You are the combination of a frog and a slug.
You just start shouting insults at him.
The creature sort of stands up a little straighter, looks straight at you, tells you to roll initiative.
Ah!
Oh.
always worrying
Jean-Luc
when
is
the
gonna
enemies
just
tell
get
you
a
that.
little bit behind you. Ooh, 17.
Wow.
I have everybody's initiatives. Should pop up on your screen shortly.
Yay.
Okay, fantastic. Jean-Luc, as you mutter your nasty words at it, what are you doing? Are you just muttering nasty words at it?
I'm just shouting insults at it, just trying to make him upset.
Okay, do you have a cantrip that might be?
I have vicious mockery.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the creature shall make a wisdom saving throw.
All right, he has to beat a 14.
He doesn't. Gets an 8.
Heck yeah! So that would be a damage of 2 for insults.
Nice. But he will have disadvantage on his next attack, and that is very important. Jean-Luc, any bonus action from you?
Cowering further behind Boulderbrest, so just
Okay.
scoot
No,
a little
no
bit.
bardic inspiration.
Not yet.
Okay, cool. Diego. Yeah,
Mm.
that's not too fair. How are you doing?
So Diego's extremely cautious of this thing, and he's gonna like sort of look at it with a bit of animosity, I guess. And he'll sort of like snarl and hiss, and this will be Diego's version of casting Mind Sliver. He's gonna try to scare the shit out of this thing.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cool.
The creature looks at you and sort of recoils drastically as it gets a nat 1 on its -2 intelligence save and gets a -1.
Beauty. It'll take 4 psychic damage.
And it sort of grabs its head a little bit and it looks at you and it'll cocks its head sideways. And... Okay, straight. That's any bonus action. Tell me any movement speed.
I will move and try to sort of like hide behind this bush here.
Okay. So you can't hide behind anything that doesn't block vision.
I'm not actually
but,
hiding.
Yeah, no, I know, but just in
It's just-
general. I think the map should be dynamic. You should see some
Yeah,
things
yeah.
block vision.
There's
Great,
nothing. yeah,
fantastic.
there's nothing.
That is a sort of very narrow, spindly, twig-like being, but you can at least make him walk around it to you.
Mhm,
You know, so
exactly.
you might prefer a more direct path to someone else. Munch, what are you up to?
Just being nervous and chewing a lot, and then kind of steel myself, and then I'll run up next to Boulderbrest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I can get right there. And then I will shake my stick at it angrily. Just don't come any closer. We don't have any nuts. And then I will simply hold ready action to whack it if it comes close.
Okay. Coop, you doing?
Yeah, I'll run up with everyone else and I'll just throw a nail at it.
Give me a. Do you have any sort of? Do you have a dagger, for example? You don't have anything, do you? Okay, so give me a dexterity check. This will be a thrown weapon, improvised weapon.
That is a 13.
13. That's a mighty throw from the little duck. Ugh, and the nail sort of spins around in the air and boop, blinks into his head. It doesn't appear to have done any damage.
That's a warning.
He does sort of sit back a little bit. He's had his mind fucked with. He's been yelled insults at hurt, and now he's got a nail bumping into his head, and he's a little confused, a little
Yes.
disoriented.
That's me though.
Okay. And then he sort of lumbers forward. He tilts his head right to the side, looking at you, Munch. And he steps here and then lashes out a tentacle at you at disadvantage. But I think a 19 might hit you.
Whoa.
Oh
Yes, it does.
Full warning, Munch, this might be you going down.
That's fine.
No.
That is you going down, a 7.
Oh, Jesus.
As this tentacle bludgeons you to the ground, you are knocked prone. He sort of tilts his head and a poison quill shoots out at you, Boulderbrest. Regular to hit. That is a 23. I'm rolling like a beast.
Wow.
Oh dear. Oh wait, hold on. Did I fix your HP?
Party
Or-
wipe anyone?
No. Did I fix your HP? Is what I need to know.
TKP.
Um,
TKP. Oh, TPK.
I
I say it
did
wrong.
not. Do you want to refresh your page, please, Boulderbrest? I forgot to change your HP when you rolled your sets.
Okay, cool.
You should have 7, not 5. Because
I
you
do.
are +2 con. I forgot to give you a con modifier. So yes, it will hit you and deal 5 poison damage. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Alright, con save. It's
Nice,
10.
that's a pitiful failure. You're poisoned.
Of course.
It's your turn, Boulderbrest. You've got a little quill sticking
Alright.
out of you. You feel a little weakened, a little nauseous, and there's this creature moving towards you.
Well, I have to jump in and attack it.
Oh, really? Okay,
gonna
cool.
move.
What are you hitting it with?
Just my claws. I'm just
Oh,
gonna.
yeah,
I'm
okay,
just
just-
going in. You know. Yeah. Going up.
Obviously, well poisoned, you'll be rolling with disadvantage.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I forgot how to do the.
It's rolling with advantage.
That's a 10.
Okay. 10 will
anyway,
miss. You slash it, but it
and
doesn't
then-
seem to make it through its Piscine exoskeleton.
Yeah, that's a bonus action. 2 weapon fighting. I can.
You have second wind? Would you prefer to use that, or are you going at it with another hit?
I think I'll just go. I think I'll go at it with another hit.
Of that, yeah. There's stupid rules about light melee weapons, but you can definitely claw it with your other hand.
Yeah, cool. There you go. That would be with disadvantage. That's a 15 with disadvantage.
Yeah, that's
No,
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, 15
15
fine.
with
15 hits.
advantage.
As you
Cool.
slash with the one, and then you slash with the other, and the weight of your blow comes down. Yeah, no modifier on your second attack, obviously, but what did you get?
No, of course. So it's a 1.
1 slashing damage?
It's only I can't. There's no roll. There's just 1.
Oh, is that just your unarmed strike in general?
Yeah,
don't
that's
have
my unarmed
claws?
strike. Yeah, because I have a 0 to strength.
Right, I thought you had claws. My apologies. Cool, yeah. You strike it once, you strike
I
it
thought
twice.
not.
It recoils a little bit.
I thought I did have claws actually. Yeah,
but-
that's why I was attacking it with features. Yeah, badger claws, 1d4.
Yeah, give me your
it's
1d4.
just- Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry. It just
Maybe
didn't-
it's 2 or 3 more.
Okay, 2. Yeah, it's doubled.
Lovely.
It's 2.
Right, double the damage, Jean-Luc. As you see Munch go down to a tentacle next to you.
Oh no.
What are you doing?
He lets out a shrill little scream. And then, he's gonna look angrily at the slimy creature and just say,
If you were a worm, no one would love you.
and just cast Vicious Mockery again. And then,
So it's taking away 1d4 from that. I don't know that it'll matter. From the Mind Sliver.
Yes, that is not going to make any difference, though, unfortunately. Boulderbrest, sorry, I need a Constitution saving throw at the end of your turn.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, he seems unfazed by your mockery, as if he didn't understand you.
Yeah.
You're no
That
longer
is a
poisoned.
15. Beautiful.
Any bonus action out of you, Jean-Luc?
yes, as a bonus action, Jean-Luc is going to look at Diego, go,
You are a beast. You are dangerous. Show him your teeth.
and just try to inspire him
Right,
to
yeah,
be
love that.
even scarier.
Diego, being told to show him your teeth, what are you doing? Please don't try and bite him, that's going to be the end of it.
I know, I was going to say. So Diego's going to move over a little closer, but still maintain some distance. And seeing that this thing has taken out a friend of his and nearly taken out another, he's going to actually try to play nice. And he'll sort of look at this creature with doe eyes and, ears down, sort of like a little docile. And I will attempt to, and I don't know if this thing's a humanoid or not, but I'm going to charm person.
Is that something you get with your race?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's a racial
No,
thing.
It's not a... It's your bewitching
Not a-
guile, right?
Yes, bewitching guile, correct.
Yeah. This creature does not appear to be a humanoid. However, you may give me a persuasion check.
With advantage. I'm not very persuasive. Sure.
No, you're not.
A 9.
He's going to tilt his head at you, and he's a little curious for a moment. And then he just carries on looking at Boulderbrest, his next target. A bonus action from you.
Nope, I don't have anything.
Okay, Munch. Privately to me, if you don't mind, a death save, please.
Oh yeah, I guess then I'll do over here because I don't know if I click that little button in the death saves if I can make it private or not. So I'll do it here. No, I tried to click on the thing and to change it to everyone and it rolled. I mean to change it to not everyone.
That
Why
is
the
okay.
fuck do I click?
In the game log, I believe. There's
a little, the stupid little drop-down arrows where I needed to click. Sorry.
It's silly. Don't worry about it. But we will get used to it in the future. But that, you guys see Munch rally a little bit, pokes his little head up and looks at the creature coming towards him. Cooper, what are you doing? Cooper, what are you doing?
Yes, seeing Munch go down and Boulder get wounded so badly, I'm just gonna go through my satchel and take out the hammer that I took from the box I was hiding in, and just run up and slam it against his ankle.
Okay. Yeah, give me a roll to hit. Give me your unarmed strike to hit. Yep.
That's a 15.
Okay, with a +2 because you will have to be in melee range. Yes, you have stepped up.
I have stepped up. Yeah, sorry.
So yes, you and Boulderbrest would each have a +2 now. Okay, so yeah, you hit. You can give me 1 damage plus your sneak attack.
Oh, which is a d6. Which is a 2.
Okay, you see the
3
creature
damage.
recoil. Instead of he looks wounded, he sort of grabs, he leans down and grabs his shin. Holds it briefly. Is that the end of your turn?
It is, yes.
Yeah, he's sort of noticing you. He's tries to snap at you.
Not
Am I
Cooper.
rolling so well? Cooper, that's a 14 to hit.
Yeah.
Four piercing damage.
That is my health.
Thought it might be. Jean-Luc. Poison quill coming towards you.
Are we about to get animal
I
naps?
can't miss! 16. Oh,
That doesn't hit. Are you kidding?
you're just flattened by this quill.
Oh god.
Boulderbrest, seeing your allies fall behind you. What do you do?
I'm gonna have to try
Cooper's
and
down,
down
Jean-Luc's
it.
down.
Just
Yeah.
attack it again. You know what I mean? Just attack it twice
Yeah,
again.
okay, go and give me the double slash.
So the first is a 4 to hit.
It's a 6, actually, because you got a +2 from...
But-
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Cooper's
of course,
down.
6.
Cooper's down. No.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
4, yeah.
Alright.
And a second slash.
And a second slash. It's
Nice.
21.
21, go ahead. Give me some damage. Your D4, and this will be with your modifier.
Yeah. That's a 3.
Love that. Okay, the creature is severely wounded. A little bit like your team. Told you this fight would be happening. Oh, just killed it. That would be nice for you guys. The aim. That is what I was trying to do. Cool. Boulderbrest, is that in your turn?
Yeah.
Jean-Luc Laurent is turn 1, day 1, death save in private to me, please.
Oh god, how do I do that? Okay.
So I think there is a option in chat.
To do chat.
Is there a way to do it?
On roll 20, if you go up to the game log, which is next to the go to build up anvil thing, you can go send up to the top. It's like send to. It's like everyone's self or dungeon master.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I remember that's a way to do it, but I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do it.
I think you're right. Hold on. Everyone holds a dungeon master, and then I just is it saving?
You should be able to right click. Just right click whatever you're gonna like for example, if you right click on an attack on the plus.
Oh
zero,
yeah,
it'll
if
say
you right click it,
send to everyone self DM.
Sweet.
Okay. Wait, do I just roll a d20? Is that what I'm doing?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Da, 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 da. I don't know where the heck things are. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna pick.
So if you /GM roll 1d20 in
I can totally just do that.
yeah, if you were to type from the slash in roll 20, that'll just do it. So your death dice in future, guys.
Did it send to you?
Maybe somewhere. Did you roll on D&D Beyond or on?
I rolled on D&D Beyond, yeah.
Got it. Yes. You gave me an insight check, which is good.
I know, sorry.
But regardless, I saw the roll. Fantastic. Diego, you see
Yes.
Boulderbrest barely standing in front of this
You gotta
enemy.
down this
Cooper,
thing, dude.
Cooper and Munch are down. What are you gonna do? I don't think it's any
Um,
damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing as he did in the first round. He's gonna change basically from his sort of nice-looking demeanor, and then just like those like jump scare memes where like you see someone's face and they look normal, and then all of a sudden like it turns into something like demonic. It'll be sort of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And here it
Min
comes.
save is a 5.
That'll be a fail.
Exactly. Please describe his grisly demise.
I'll just sort of like, I imagine that like he just like scares the shit out of him so bad that the thing stumbles back, falls, and smashes its head on a rock and just like splits its skull open.
Nice. That is pretty brutal. But yeah, as you guys down this creature, those of you who went down will take a level of exhaustion. A reminder that a level of exhaustion is a -1 to your DC. You can click on the card above your name if you want to know more detail on that. But you stand victorious on the battlefield, or some of you do. Most of you stay victorious. You can, after a short while, just short rest to get yourselves back up as the group of you sort of lie around, injured, wounded, confused as to why this vile creature attacked you. You can go back to 1 hit point and then wander over to the water and take a short rest there if you wish. Healing.
Boulderbrest, help me gather the injured.
Yeah, I'm just gonna first things first, and I jam my claws into this thing's throat to make sure it's dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you do so, you notice that you've gone just below the quills, but these poison quills that filled out from its neck still appear to be dipped in this or dripping this toxic poison. So do avoid eating it.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of eating this thing. It's gross.
Who's trying to get rid of their exhaustion by dealing it?
Me. I'm trying to figure out how to use it. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you don't necessarily need to use anything. So I think if you right click on that, you might be able to click take card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it back in your inventory. I think if you just click once on the coins or on the card above your name, you can read them.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so that'll tell you what the exhaustion does. Yes. Sorry, Boulderbrest.
Sorry.
You make sure this creature is dead.
Diego will sort of try to like pull Cooper and Jean-Luc along. I think Munch is a little heavier than he's comfortable with, so he'll leave Munch to you.
Yeah, I'll take one.
You are able to ascertain that there are no more of these creatures by the water. And I will just move you all to here. As you can sort of idle on by the river. Take a short rest if you wish.
Yeah, Diego will splash some water on their faces. Make sure that.
No, let me see the light.
As you look back upon this creature you have all felled, you may take some XP. Some mentionable amount of XP. Let me just do some math. Last save was in 1970. What are you on about? You may all take 30 experience points. And you may remove your hit point limiters and progress to level 1. Those of you who have
Sweet.
prepared spells, I prefer that you sort of talk about how you're discovering those spells. But as you look behind this little lake, you see a sort of cove. A slight piratey cove, if you will. and there's a glow coming from within the cave. These 6 or 7 boxes, and a lantern sat on top of one of the boxes.
Do we know what lanterns are?
Yeah, you use them on the island.
Oh, okay.
Some of yours are trapped fireflies, but
Nice.
Yeah, it was everyone.
I bruised my wing.
In pain.
Completely fine, of course.
Sure.
What an asshole.
Cooper, that was good thinking with the hammer. Where did you get that?
I found it on a in the sand years ago.
Sorry for laughing.
and then you don't even need to make an perception check. You
Yeah,
know
don't do that-
completely
don't do it even for a
100%.
second, yeah.
That is the hammer that was in the nail box. 100%.
Cooper, you probably saved us with that. And I give him a big hug.
I will hug back and I will just say that's what the smart person of the group would have done.
Diego's rolling his eyes. Says the dead duck.
Not dead.
The downed duck.
That's a good
Now,
lot.
I
Wait, I'm
don't
gonna
wanna-
write that down.
Jay,
I
if you
don't
want to
wanna
refresh your
undermine.
sheet, I've fixed your HP.
Oh, thank you.
It was being a bit difficult.
More importantly, do you see this glow?
Oh god, what now? We can't afford any more things like that.
It's a little cave, and it's got some boxes on the left-hand side, a little hanging torch. You can see the back of it. You know there is nothing in it.
Okay.
It looks like this is where the creature has emerged from, but you know the cave is empty. And indeed, on the floor at the front of the cave is some sort of lizard carcass. Looks like the creature has
God.
eaten it. But the boxes seem relatively well sealed.
Cooper starts like squirming and wriggling out of Boulder's arms, trying to get to the box.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. All
Yeah.
good. All good.
Just
Diego
rush
will
over.
also approach. Yeah, he's gonna approach the boxes and.
Cooper, your eyes are on the boxes, and you're sort of trying to pry each one open.
Yes.
Diego, you are completely caught by something.
Oh.
On a rock near the back is a leather-bound token. And it seems to glow to you ever so slightly.
What's
sort of pale,
these?
silvery blue light. You move over. You notice it's got strange glyphs on it.
Ooh.
And you can explore all the boxes, but I am just going to ping this all at you. So there are 2 clubs. They're actually firewood. There is a single dagger, a sharpened dagger. There is a tinderbox, 2 pouches for putting things in, an entire chest if you want to carry it with you. There are 3 copper pieces in the chest. I didn't put that in the list. There are 2 metal cooking pots, iron cooking pots. You've probably never seen them before, so they're quite exciting. A small knife, which is not a weapon, but can be used to get things open, cut things, etc. A fishing block and tackle, and a spellbook, which Diego has already picked up and is holding.
Mm-hmm.
Diego, as you turn the first page, you see an unusual glyph, strange writing, and it calls to you. You almost feel like if you were to trace it long enough and think about it hard enough, you could make it do something. You don't know what. I don't know what, because I don't know what spells you want. But I will tell you, it does already have spells.
Oh.
You can add the 2 of your choice that you would have learned at level 1. But the spells it has in it are Floating Disc, Mage Armor, Magic Missile.
Ooh.
Mage armor, magic missile, and floating disc.
And this is your spellbook now, so you do not, unlike other spells, need to write it into your spellbook because it is yours. Now, you may etch your new spells into it. Your 2 of your choice are in the book as well, whatever they are. I'm not going.
6? Don't you get 6?
It's 6.
Are you getting less? The first level's 6, and then it's 2
Oh,
after.
I thought it was.
We need a capable wizard. We're obviously going to be killed by everything we see, so I just want to make sure that.
In that case, I thought so. I only read that it's 2 per level. If you start with 6 spells, then Rico, you can take those 3, and you can choose your starting 6, or starting however many it is you're meant to start with. You can start with those plus those 3 spells.
Okay.
But I will give you an entire 2 weeks of it.
I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out.
The rest of you, as you try in here, there is 2 pieces of loot that I have not mentioned that are also in here. First of all, Cooper, you find yourself absolutely taken by a bright, shining blue gem.
Oh my goodness.
You have no idea what it is, but I believe it is an aquamarine. It might be, or it might be an alexandrite. I can never. Yes, aquamarine, which is a transparent, pale blue-green gemstone. Ignore the price tag on it. You have no idea. Cooper has no idea what it really is. It's just shiny and pretty.
Yeah, I will snatch that up and put it in my satchel. I'll try and do it so that no one sees.
Yeah, I'll let that happen, because Diego's currently staring the spellbook. Boulderbrest is eagerly trying to see if there's any enemies nearby. I have no idea what Jean-Luc is doing, I'm afraid.
What it probably is he able to pick up the lantern to like walk around with?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It is a hooded lantern is the name of it in. Yes, lantern hooded is what it is. You can add it to your inventory. And actually, I believe I can also give you access to it here. So it is in your everybody's journal, and all control it, I'll say. You should now have access somewhere in your journal under dynamic lights and spells to hooded lantern.
Oh, yeah.
If you were to drag it onto the map, it would make a light.
Ah, that's so cute.
That is cute.
Cool. So yes, you found the lantern, you're holding it and moving around, but Munch, you find a fairly U-sized stick leaning against the wall.
It takes me a while, because first of all, when I came to, I climbed up a tree and ate one of those orange fruits for a while.
We will return to that moment in a second, because that is relevant and interesting. But in the meantime, you see this this sort of stave. It's about your size. Somebody else might have used it as a wand, maybe? You don't know this as a character, but as a player. But all over it has got these strange little tiny inscriptions. And it's very balanced. It's got sort of, you don't know what it is, but it's metal bands on one end and the other, just tiny little thin metal bands at the ends to sort of keep it from breaking or splintering. And as soon as you touch it, it feels slightly magical to touch. And I will homebrew this with you over the next 2 weeks. I've been really struggling to try and give it multiple types of damage without stacking them. I don't know how to do it.
It doesn't need to have them for a couple of levels. You know what I mean? That's sort of up to.
No, as of right now, it is a standard quarterstaff, but you may replace its damage type with any one of the standard elemental damage type. Those that appear on Chromatic Orb, I don't.
Sure.
But yes. But I tried to homebrew it, and I just ended up giving you a staff that did 8d6 damage, and I was like, I don't want that. So yes, use it as you please.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Yes,
And Boulderbrest, as you peer outwards, looking for any signs of any trap, you don't see anything nearby except for a very brightly coloured lizard. It's about 3/4 of a foot in length, 8-9 inches in length. So it's not very intimidating, but it's brightly coloured, a riot of reds and yellows and blues and greens. And it sort of moves over to the rock right next to your foot, and it just rolls onto its back in front of you. I know what you want to do with that. It's just a lizard.
Okay. Do I understand that brightly coloured means poisonous?
No, and in fact, it almost definitely doesn't always mean poisonous. You've seen plenty of brightly coloured birds on Chimvaya who are not poisonous in the slightest.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Toucans not renowned for their poisonous quills.
That's true. I'm gonna sort of give it a nudge and say, go on.
It sort of rubs its chin up against your finger. It quite enjoys the attention. It makes no attempt to move off its sunbathing.
Well, suit yourself.
I'm going to reverse, however, to Munch climbing a tree and eating. When you get up there, this bright orange fruit is almost squishy. It's got the texture and the ness. What's this? Solidity-ness? I don't know.
Mass?
Firmness.
Density. Yeah, the firmness, all of those things. It's got the feel of a tomato. If you imagine what a tomato would feel like in real life, but it's big. It's like you're holding it in your hands like this. It is the size of Boulderbrest's head. So if you try and get it from the tree, it is going to tumble to the ground and you'll have to go down.
I'm gonna sit up in the tree and kind of like eat
Okay,
it in the tree.
yeah, great. As you take a bite into it, it is full of bright juices. This tastes a little like papaya, if you want a reference point in real life. But to you, it is just sweet, it is juicy, it is beautiful. And it has a unique property. Wonderful. And that is that if you, for the next hour after eating this, when you take a short rest, I know that it's a bit late, but when you take a short rest, any hit die you roll will roll at maximum.
Okay.
You just take the highest number on the dice, you don't roll them yourself. This is only relevant to those of you who have enough hit points for it to help. But even so, well, I think at this point you all do now, actually, now that you're max HPs.
Well, that's it, because when I took off like the limit, the adjustment, it just automatically accidentally gave me all my HP.
Whatever, that's fine. That's fine.
The
Love
fruit
that.
did it.
And I think only Jean-Luc is injured at this point. But you
It's
can always
okay.
take a bite of papaya and take a nap a bit later on. But it's fair to say that you guys have gathered round. You've got your little cave. You're a little maybe nervous as to what might be around. You've just had a fight. You've got a cool new stick and a spell book. And I think on that bright and bustling note, that's where we're going to end. And we will come to the timeless tradition of MVPs. I think, Jack, did we do this in the pre-campaign session in the one-shot? Did we do MVPs?
Yeah, we did.
Great,
do
okay,
it in the
fantastic.
one
So
shot.
you know what's going on. Jay, you've seen these before. But we will start with, as I called them before, the old guard. And we'll start with Rico. Maybe not. We'll start with Josh.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I just loved everyone's characters so much. They were all so cool and interesting and unique, and I loved everyone's voices, so I just wanted to say good job to everyone on that. But
Great
I
voice,
think,
Thanks.
It's all
but
right.
I think my MVP just goes to everyone's like own interactions with the human, and him like speaking a odd language is just so funny and so much fun watching everyone. So yeah, that for me.
Yeah, I think you guys did a really good job with the human. Rico.
So yeah, I thought it was an excellent first session as always. I like that. It just felt as though all of our characters had a familiarity with each other, which I mean, like, made a lot of sense, right? But in terms of an MVP, I'd have to give it to Joe for his use of a nut as a navigational tool. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh.
Yes, I will say that I gave out a D4 of inspiration for various things. Joe, you were the only person to attain a D6. I thought that the nut navigational system was just fucking genius. I loved it. It was really cool. Joe, your MVP.
And sorry, as the newcomers will find out, Joe is full of those incredibly, yeah,
Interesting.
clever ideas. Yeah.
Well, let me give one side one first, just to Josh for being a good sport, because I did not mean for everyone to be mean to Cooper all the time. He said he wanders into secret places while I was inventing a character who secrets things all over the place, and so I was like, it's gotta be. But then it turned into everybody being mean, which is a little unnecessary. Anyhow, the real sort of my favorite individual little specific moment was someone, I can't remember which one of you, says that that Kef is, I think he's trying to speak. And Rico, you go, I taught him. Just that
Yes.
immediate, just totally taking credit for having completely taught him how to speak immediately. I love that.
I'll take that. Jay, your MVP.
So, honestly, everyone's named things that I was gonna list, but honestly, I really adore Cooper as a character. I just love his curiosity, and how he has just a penchant for looking into things, but not thinking it through, but it's just because of pure curiosity.
Yep.
And I think that's really great for the dynamic of when we're gonna visit new places.
It's a wonderful tool for a DM to have as well.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
flashy thing over there. Go walk. Yeah, I will say that the first thing I said on the break was, please tell me you're okay with me putting your character in a box on the boat. That was me on the break. Jack, your MVP.
Yeah, it's gotta be Josh just like wanting to commit so bad to be like, yeah, I definitely do want to float out at sea on the ocean at night because I'm such a curious little guy.
Yeah, you will learn that this is something that Josh, when he has an idea, he's gonna try it, and he's okay with the consequences, and that is fine. Yeah, Sebastian nearly died. We nearly lost a duck on episode 1. It was great. And it's fun because then we get to explore what are the consequences. So I agree with that. I have a fuck ton of these, but before I do get to the MVPs, I want to say the Steam tune is slightly loud. Oh, this is because I meant to put the MVP ones on. There we go. Because I did think they were a bit full on. First of all, obviously, it is a very strange change to be playing on a Sunday and have different people. And I am so glad to see it be a successful change. To see a group of people, I mean, Jay and Jack, you deserve a huge amount of credit for joining a table that is very well established, and the other three, you deserve a huge amount of credit for being so welcoming. I think it felt like there was a familiarity to all the characters, which is remarkable given it's our first session together. So I'm so very glad. I think the whole vibe of the whole group of critters is super cute and fun. And I was really enjoying that. But I did have some individual ones. Rico, you got your D4 of inspiration for drawing along the line and then saying he's traveled a long way. And the side note of this was Jay responding, that's not all that far. It's just a line. Jack, the idea of the thin tree skin as a description of paper, genius. Loved that. Rico, I think you deserved a lot of credit as well for knowing when to make a breakthrough. Because we could have been stuck in the we don't know what the fuck is going on for a long, long time. But you suddenly working out that it's a boat, not a wood monster, was actually super helpful as a DM because I had no way of giving you a revelation because you all know as players what it is. So you have to have the revelation when you feel it's appropriate, and you were the first person to do that. Subsequently, other people did it, but I think that takes a lot of nous, so great job.
Thank you.
Joe, I have no idea what you said when you said boat, but it was like a boat. It was beautiful. It was fucking brilliant, and Josh just wet himself when you said it. It was great. It was so funny. I love the concept of being on the ocean, hoping on a sea land, and Jay, you said he appeared from nothing. So we're probably quite close. Which is a ridiculous sentiment, but also a great way of feeling reassured, right? Jack, when you suggested Josh being a kite, obviously as a whole, was quite funny, but the particular line I enjoyed was, I don't normally have ideas, but I had it and I had to say it. It's a beautiful description. And a crab is an animal that's a bit like a nut. I thought it was a lovely little description. That was genius. So yeah, you guys, it was such a wonderful session 1. We aren't having a session next week. I'm taking a full week hiatus to play Stardew Valley. But I hope you guys all have a fantastic week. In the meantime, if you guys would like to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It is left for me to say thank you very much, Friendly here for the raid. It is a lovely pleasure to have you in. It is always a joy to have you guys raid. I know I never acknowledge you the minute you come in, but if I turn alerts on, I'll be totally distracted. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. Welcome to a whole new table, and we shall see you soon.